Hello everybody, my name is Sniping Stun, and I welcome you all back to the 87th character in this series of videos on my various newcomer ideas for the upcoming Smash Bros. Game, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I've done numerous characters so far, from Nintendo to third party, from retro to new school. Various Nintendo characters I feel have, relevancy now to be included in Smash Bros. Or, characters that I feel were popular throughout Nintendo's history and are relevant enough to Nintendo's history to be included in the game, or third-party characters that I feel, whether they're Nintendo, they have relevancy with Nintendo or not, have been on Nintendo or not, are popular enough to be in the gaming and popular enough in the gaming industry to get into Smash Brothers, or they're third parties that have history with Nintendo. I've done numerous characters, 86 of them. You can go back into the playlist and look at all these different characters I talked about. Leon Scott Kennedy from Resident Evil. I've talked about various Fire Emblem characters like Edelgard, Lynn, Alm, and Celica. I've talked about Bomberman. I've talked about multiple different characters. Crash Bandicoot, Rayman, the Doom Slayer, Doom Guy, various characters I've talked about. And when I did my 86th character last time, I said my next character I was going to leave a mystery until, because my list was being revisited, switched up and everything at the time. So I didn't tell you who it was, because usually I leave a rumor or some sort of hint, or I tell you the character outright, which is what I've been doing for the last 50 some odd, 60, 70 some odd characters. I started off doing the rumors, but then I changed it. But now you're going to see the thumbnail when I change the name of the video. You'll see the picture obviously here. Character number 87 is going to be Axel Stone from the Streets of Rage franchise from Sega. And just like always, before the intro gets way too long, 3 separate categories. Why does the character make sense for Smash Bros? Moveset ideas and percentage chance I can actually see them getting included as a character in the game. Let's go off and say why Streets of Rage, why Axel Stone deserves to be represented as a third-party character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Well, first and foremost, Sega now has a close relationship with Nintendo. They used to be rivals back in the 90s, and now Sega makes games for all different systems, including Nintendo. And the company I feel they've got the closest relationship to, since they used to be a rival of them, is Nintendo. A lot of their games come to Nintendo. There's a lot of Sega exclusives on Nintendo. They have a very, very close friendship with Nintendo. So Sega getting their character should be kind of noted. And one of Sega's most popular franchises, especially back in the day, is the Streets of Rage franchise. It was the beat 'em up to rival the likes of Final Fight and all the Captain Commando and Captain Commando, Rival Turf, fighting, all these different fighting games, all these different beat 'em up games back in the day, but especially like the likes of Captain Commando and Final Fight and whatnot, where it's major competition. This was Sega's equivalent to that. Console exclusive games, and they were freaking popular as hell. They sold fairly well, especially the first 2 games, and they're iconic to Sega's history. And speaking of this, the franchise's history back then, it's now very relevant now, because now we are finally getting a Streets of Rage 4. And guess what? It's also being released on the Switch. So Streets of Rage is coming back from the past and finally getting a new game in the series. So now it's super relevant. It's not just historically relevant with the 3 games back in the days of the Game Gear and the Sega Genesis and Master System and whatnot. It's also now relevant with the current day systems, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and in Nintendo's case, the Nintendo Switch, which the Streets of Rage 4 is going to be on, and he is a playable character. He's one of the 2 so far announced playable characters, alongside Blaze, that's going to be in the new game. So it's not just representing old school Streets of Rage, it's representing a game series that's being brought back. And he is the main character. He's at least one of the main characters of the series, alongside Blaze and Adam and whatnot. And he's been in every single one. Like I said, he's in Streets of Rage 4. He was in 1 through 4, all these different games. And he's like the mascot of the series. He's not necessarily the straight-up only main character, because he Skates and Max and Adam and Blaze and whatnot have been in the series, throughout the history too. But he's been in every single one of them. So I count him as pretty much the main character, the mascot of the series. And he's been in crossovers before. He's been in Project Cross Zone 2. He's showed up in various, Sega Genesis collection type stuff. He's been used in collections. He's been used in crossovers before. So it's not out of the ordinary for him to show up in something like Smash Brothers, because he's been in crossovers before on Nintendo systems too. So that's the reasons for why I think Streets of Rage should be represented, and Axel Stone should basically be the character they choose. He is the most relevant, popular character of the series. He's practically the main character. It's one of Sega's most popular old school franchises. It's getting a new game in the series, and Sega has a close relationship with him. And they have so many other franchises, it shouldn't be relegated to only, them publishing Bayonetta or them having Sonic. One of their other franchises should be represented in Smash Brothers, and Streets of Rage, in my opinion, is one of the top choices for that. Moveset ideas. Now, Moveset, he is basically an ex-cop. Like, if you played the Streets of Rage games, this gang came in and took over the city, infiltrated dirty cops and stuff like that. So him and the rest of the cast left the police station, left the force, and they go in, are illegally going in and trying to go in themselves and beat them up and top the gang. So that's basically the overall story. So he's an ex-police officer. He mainly punches and kicks, and he's trained to be able to fight. And he's basically trained, as far as the research I looked in, in the mix of boxing, karate, street fighting, and kickboxing. So his fighting style is going to be a mix of street fighting, kickboxing, karate, and boxing. So his smash attacks are going to be a lot of punching combos from the game. He'll be able to go up to opponents, boom, 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 bam, boom, 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 he knows karate, he knows kickboxing, boxing and street fighting. So his smash attacks are going to be a bunch of punches and kicks that you just take the Axel from the game, and how you beat up opponents in the beat 'em up, in the series is how you're going to beat up your Smash Brothers brother and all the opponents in the Smash Brothers. So his smash attacks are going to be a mix, punches and kicks, physical combat, trained combat in the likes of kickboxing, boxing, street fighting, and karate. That's basically what it is. He does the likes of, he does a flying knee. So he's gonna run up and just be hit you with his knee. He jumps and does a running knee. He does a jump kick. He does a roundhouse kick, and he does a double kick. So he just kicks, he boom, and jumps and spins around, does a roundhouse kick and flying. He does specialize heavily in kicks though. A lot of his special moves really are kind of kicks. And a lot of his physical combat is kicks, but he also can punch. So it's he has stuff that's dedicated to his punches and stuff that's dedicated to the kicks. So there you go. But his smash attacks are going to be a bunch of punches and kicks in the likes of kickboxing and street fighting and boxing and whatnot, and karate. His special attacks are going to be all his, special attacks in the game, all his, what he's known for. He's basically known for the ground upper, which is a sliding uppercut. So he slides across the ground and he just uppercuts you, which is basically what he's kind of doing in his picture right here. He slides across the ground and uppercuts someone in the air. He does the dragon smash, which is a barrage of punches followed by an uppercut, which this is more so attuned to. So he's gonna be and knock you in the air. So if he punches, it'll be a combo, and you could probably finish it by sending your opponent into the air, leaving them open. Then you can jump in the air and beat him up on it, basically. He does the dragon wing, which is basically it swings the fist in circular motion. So he spins around. He's and spins around. I'm sitting down, so obviously I can't try and do it. And he does the grand hook, which is a grand upper, which I told you is a sliding uppercut, into a 360 dragon wing, which is what I said, the spinning punch thing. So he ground ups, uppercuts, and as he's doing it, he spins around when he hits you up in the air. So all his special attacks, the grand upper, the dragon smash, the dragon wing, the grand hook, all his special punch attacks are in the specials. All his, known special kicks are in his smash attacks alongside basic punches. And I know I don't mention this all the time with suplex, with grappling type maneuvers, but he does a grapple like a judo suplex and he throws him to the ground. No, that's actually someone else. Sorry. He does a suplex where he lifts you up like a wrestling move and drops you on your back. That's his I was looking at the wrong character at that point. A future character can have a judo to the ground throw as their grapple. But Axel Stone is, he grabs you, lifts you up, and drops you on your back like a wrestling type move. So that's smash attacks are punches and kicks in the kickboxing and karate. His smash attacks are always special kick, punch type moves, like the grand upper, the dragon smash, and the grand hook. His final smash, and I wanted to represent this because it's such a major thing in the first game, so it's representing something from the first Streets of Rage, the special attacks. The police car special attack. If you've ever played the first, and this was, I believe, only in the first one, because I only really played the first two. And they had physical punching, dragon smash type stuff as his specials and other character specials in the second one. But you can summon a police car to come off stage, and they shoot a giant rocket launcher, which blows up on the stage and kills any opponent that you're fighting. So basically, he gets on his telephone, he calls the intercom, he calls the police car in, so far off from the stage. It's going to be just like a final. It's not going to be cutscene based. It starts off with a cutscene, but the attack is actually in real time. So he gets on the phone. Here comes the police car from a far distance. The police officer comes out with a giant freaking rocket launcher. Pow! And then as you're fighting on the stage, boom! And any opponent in the vicinity will get blown off the stage. And if you have high enough damage, obviously you're going to get blown off stage and get a KO, get knocked off the stage. So there you go with his final smash. So, third category, percentage chance I could actually see him getting in. Now, Streets of Rage is I would say one of Sega's most classic franchises. That's not like Sonic or Alex Kidd or various other franchises they have from back then. And it is one of their classic franchises, and it is still popular on Nintendo because certain collections have been on Nintendo. The games have been on the Virtual Console, on the Wii and whatnot. They have made appearances on Nintendo, and he made, like I said, a crossover, Project Crossover on 3DS. He's one of the playable characters that you can get in your team, and you play as in the story. He's been on Nintendo and has enough history on Nintendo, but I do believe other Sega franchises make more sense to get characters than Streets of Rage. There's a few above them, I believe, at least in terms of popularity or more so relevancy nowadays, or maybe connection to Nintendo. I'd say there's certain franchises I'd probably put a little bit higher than Streets of Rage getting a character, but I do think its history as being a rival franchise for Sega against Nintendo, and the series coming back and being on the Switch and characters showing up in crossovers and whatnot, I do believe there's a small chance one of the next Sega characters could very well be Streets of Rage, and that Streets of Rage does deserve to be a franchise represented to get a character in Smash Brothers. But I'm going to give them a 50% chance. Because, like I said, it's there. The series is coming back. It's relevant now because Streets of Rage 4. It has history, crossovers like Project Cross Zone, collections, virtual console download games and whatnot. But at the same time, I don't know if Sega would want to put this as a franchise representing Smash Bros. Over a couple of their other ones, or a secondary Sonic character, even though, quite frankly, I really don't want to see Sonic in their character because Sega is more than just Sonic, and I would love Smash Brothers to be a representation of that, not just Sonic character Knuckles and Dr. Eggman and Shadow and Tails and whatnot, and Amy. There's other franchises from there. There's Yakuza, there's Valkyria Chronicles, there's Phantasy Star, Streets of Rage, Samba de Amigo, other franchises, and I'd love to see other franchises represented. And if there is to be another franchise represented, I'd say Streets of Rage has a chance, but I'm giving them a 50% chance because other franchises I feel are more popular choices and more possible choices to get that next, Sega franchise represented in Smash Brothers. But I would love to see him in there. He'd be such a cool character and be like a counteract to like Ryu and whatnot. Even though Ryu's from a fighting game, he's from a beat 'em up. But Axel is cool and he stands the test of time. I think he's coming back in the new game and he's in crossovers and whatnot. And he is a mascot. He is a major gaming icon, really. So I do think Streets of Rage deserves it. But I'm giving 50% chance because there's other Sega franchises I feel Sega and Sakurai would specifically want to represent in Smash Brothers. So that's it for Axel Stone from Streets of Rage. Put in the comments below. If you guys like would you love to see Streets of Rage represented? Would you like it to be Axel? Or would you want to pick someone like Adam or Blaze or Skate or Max or something? Because quite frankly, I'd love to see Axel in the game. You can have his costume from the original game, then you can have the new costume where he's slightly fatter with a beard, and you can have two different costumes from representing the classic and newer design of him. But it can go any way with anyone. But I do believe Streets of Rage should be represented. And what about my reasons? Do they make sense? What reasons would you have for Streets of Rage or Axel Stone to be in Smash Brothers? What about my moveset? Do you like my moveset? What moveset would you do? Would that final Smash be cool? Because quite frankly, I would love to represent that. Just the cops coming in and blowing up the stage. There you go. The police coming in. And then 50%, is that too high or too low? Because I feel that's like right in the middle. Because there is a percent chance that I could see the series getting represented in Axel being the possible choice. But I do think there's other Streets of Rage characters like Blaze stand just as much the test of time as he does. And I do believe, but I also believe that Sega has other franchises they probably would go for, like the likes of Phantasy Star, Valkyria Chronicles, or Yakuza, I think. So that's basically it, in my opinion. So that's it. Put in the comments if you guys think you guys, yeah, that's it, and leave it there. My name is Snipe Is Fun. Peace. Please subscribe if you want to have a lovely day, and stay tuned for character number 88 when I dive back into the world of Tales. I talk about Tales of Vesperia's main character, Yuri Lowell. See you all next time. And remember, Grand Hook! Yeah!